や、皆さん、こんにちは。Garrison des. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. So, hello everyone. Today we are going to be checking out another YouTube video based around Japan. I'm going to be putting my obsession with Japan out into the world and seeing what happens with it so you can see my crazy obsession in real time. All right, so we will be looking at a new video today. This video is entitled Why Japanese Hate Working with Foreigners. A great title to an interesting subject that I am excited to explore, and I hope you like to join with me. So let's check it out. This video is brought to you by Paolo from Tokyo, obviously, a prolific YouTube creator, and please subscribe to him and like his videos, and just do the whole YouTube thing so he can get as many views as possible. All right, cool. So let's begin, shall we?
This is why Japanese don't like working with foreigners.
Yeah, work culture.
So many foreigners that misunderstand Japanese work culture.
Yeah.
Even some that have experienced it firsthand still don't get it. There's
Confusing.
more to it than just Japan is super strict or Japanese work long hours. There's a lot of unwritten and hidden cultural rules that form the foundation of Japanese work culture and expectations.
Like, for
many
example,
foreigners who don't
I don't know if you guys saw that, but
that
this
form
is
the
pretty
foundation
well
of
known. Depending on where you are, let's say you're in Tokyo, you stand on the left side of the escalators. Or if you're somewhere like you're standing on the left side of the escalator so that people can pass. Or if you're in Osaka, I think you stand on the right side of the escalator. So you have it's like these hidden rules that you just don't even think about. Because when you're on an escalator, like in Spain, people just stand wherever. It's chaos. You have to get used to that. Same thing here.
Japanese work culture and expectations. Many foreigners who don't understand this end up hating their job in Japan, or just as
Seriously.
bad, their coworkers hate working with them. So
why I left Japan after 2 months of living there? I hate my life. Okay.
this video, I'm going to share with you what Japanese really think you shouldn't be doing at work and why they think this, because I'll probably never tell it to your face. See, all things are common sense in Japan, taught to them as kids, basic cultural
Yeah.
manners, etiquette, and work ethic. And if they were to tell you some of these points, it would just be rude. Personally, I've worked in Japan my entire professional career, starting out in a smaller IT firm, but eventually working in a financial corporate environment. So I've learned quite a bit about Japanese work culture over the years. And I've also talked to many Japanese workers to understand what really pisses them off, or at least annoys them when working with foreigners. But before I start, I should say that although these points are based on typical Japanese work environments, not all Japanese people and companies are like this.
Of course, you have to put a disclaimer there first because you're going to broaden Japan as an entire country as in a monolith. So if you're going to say why Japanese work culture sucks and why Japanese people hate you for your ignorance of their culture, you have to say, why do some Japanese people hate you? Why do some Japanese people? So you have to, disclaimer.
Some are more westernized, while others, believe it or not, are even more strict. If you're planning to work in
Crazy.
Japan though, it's a good start to not expect the same work culture as your home country.
Yeah.
Especially if you have an entitled mindset. I deserve this, I'm not gonna do that. If you're one of those, it's gonna be a long day at work for you in Japan.
I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna work an extra 3 hours from my 8 hour shift just because the boss is staying over. I, I get panic attacks. No, like that is entitled, right?
Anyway, I'll let you be the judge on what you agree with and disagree with, and if you can work in Japan. Alright, let's get to work.
Cool.
Number 1, don't overpromise and underdeliver. In Japan, there's
Damn.
a beauty in being humble and to understate one's abilities, which might be quite the opposite to many Western tendencies.
Those
This
people.
starts with a resume. When foreigners overstate their skill level, whether it be a technical skill for say software proficiency, or saying that they have business level Japanese, when it's
Uh-oh.
actually at a much lower level, thinking selfishly that this is what they need to do in order to get the job. And when
Okay, so if you say you have business level Japanese and then you go there and everything is in kanji, everything is like extremely complicated and difficult, dude.
When they get to work on the first day, they're expected to read business-level documents,
Look at
but
this.
are unable to, or
Exactly.
if they can, it's at an uncomfortably slow pace.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
quite a
yeah.
letdown to the team, who was expecting that their new teammate would be able to share their current workload, but rather this person is now a liability to the team, which may even foster coworker distrust and resentment. See, Japanese are taught to be humble
Dang,
from
look
a
how
young age and
hard-
generally have a distaste for self-centered coworkers.
Yeah.
It's normal for them to state less than they can actually do, but in turn, if they say they can do something, it's expected that they'll be amazing at it. So
That's sort of like just in general, right? Like if you take a like if you say that you're decent at something, then when you actually over deliver, it's impressive. Rather than if you just say I'm the best at this, then you under deliver, that's embarrassing.
from the
It's
start,
embarrassing.
it's best not to lie to your Japanese teammates. Be humble and
Yeah.
honest with your abilities.
Yeah.
Number 2, don't go home when that job isn't complete. So typical salary jobs in Japan have set hours like 9 to 6 with an hour lunch break. So
Yeah.
many foreigners think it's okay to leave just after 6 p.m. even though the job may not be finished yet. More often than not, the job in many companies is a team effort, which also has deadlines. Therefore, when working in Japan, it's no longer about me, me, me. Your actions directly impact the team and their ability to also go home.
Which is why it must be so hard to like prioritize your own needs and your own desires, because when you're at the office and your boss is still there and he hasn't left yet and the job's not done, it's this mentality of like I have to get this done because my boss is getting it done. So it's like that sacrificial mindset that a lot of I've seen Japanese people have it, and it's honorable, and but at the same time it also takes away your own self urgency. So you're working a 12-hour shift when you're really not supposed to be working an 8-hour shift because you are too afraid basically of standing up for yourself because you don't do that.
See, Japanese from an early age already know how to work well as a team
Yeah.
because one of their main focuses in their school system is Shudan Kodo, collective action,
Yeah.
in contrast to many Western schools who may focus more on individual accomplishments.
Yeah.
Therefore, as kids, Japanese naturally master how to be considerate of others and to help one another out.
Okay, I keep pausing a lot, but I have to say something about this. Like, you take the reason for that is because of their habitat, like where they exist, and so you have to form communities and groups in order to survive, basically. So that's why they do that, because landslides, natural disasters, all this kind of things. They need to like survive and be as one unit to further the nation, basically.
They wouldn't go home if the job isn't complete, as
Crazy.
it would create a burden on their coworkers, who will have to cover their responsibilities, as a deadline in Japan is an absolute something that can't be missed. It's definitely not a rough time frame where most things need to be almost complete. This is one of the reasons why in a Japanese workplace they have a commonly understood phrase, Horenso, which stands for Hokoku,
Horenso.
Renraku, and Sodan, which means report, communicate, and consult.
Horenso.
In other words, there's an unwritten expectation of a continual communication loop with Japanese team members and managers, which helps ensure that everyone knows how you're doing on your tasks, if you have any issues, and if other coworkers
Tell
need to help
someone.
you finish.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
even applies to little things like going home when Japanese announce before they leave, "Osaki ni shitsurei shimasu."
Osaki
Please
ni
excuse me
shitsurei
'cause I'm going
shimasu.
home before you. So if you're
Oh.
working in Japan and don't know this already, some of your coworkers may already dislike working with you. Oh,
Seriously.
and one more tip, you're not going to win any points with your team if you continue to ask them, when do you think we're going to finish? Number 3.
Ooh, that sucks, dude. Because as a Westerner, you're like, hey guys, when are we gonna be done with this project? Like, I gotta go home. I have to go paint my Warhammer figurine collection. Like, when is this gonna be over? You can't even say that. That sucks, dude. I mean, that's why a lot of Westerners make videos or make explanations about why I hate Japan work culture. Like, why is it so different?
Don't submit work that's poorly done. This one kind of connects to the previous point,
decides that,
especially if
though?
you're trying to go home at a certain time.
Oh,
In
fuck.
general, submitting subpar work is not gonna cut it in Japan. Sometimes even submitting average work is not gonna cut it depending on the job. If
Average.
it doesn't meet the task requirements, it's likely gonna burden your other coworkers, as they need to fix your poor work, which can likely delay the team's schedule
And
making
piss 'em
the
off.
company look bad. This is true whether you're submitting a report or even washing dishes at a sushi restaurant. Every everything must be done at high quality and on time. Japanese already understand this without having to be told.
Look at that squat, boy. Boy's a deep squat. Hell yeah.
In this case, where an individual is performing poorly compared to their coworkers, they will already have enough humility to recognize their shortcomings and work on their own time to improve their skills so that they don't continue to burden their teammates. Number 4,
Yeah.
don't prioritize.
That's so true. Like if you work at a even if you work at something menial like a dishwasher in the West, you don't have to necessarily give any care in the world about your job. Like you don't have to care at all. Like this is not even, you could care, but you don't have to put priority. But that's what people appreciate about Japanese culture is that they, even the smallest things, they put care and effort into it. So it's detrimental to them because they have to work extra hard, but it's also what makes them that impressive. So that's pretty cool.
Prioritize your personal life. So this one may seem kind of harsh,
Oh,
especially
seriously.
coming from a Western perspective.
Exactly.
But in Japan, working with your team and keeping the
I think, therefore I am. It's like yeah.
team harmony is paramount. If you haven't realized it by now, in Japan, the team is more important than the individual. Again, this is something that Japanese already know, and maybe a reason why Japanese often don't use up all of their vacation days, and why they bring back souvenir gifts to the office called omiyage
Oh,
when they
yeah,
return from a
omiyage.
vacation
Is
to
that-
show appreciation.
Is that the same thing as Valentine's chocolates? Because I know that you give chocolates to your coworkers as like a way of saying, here's appreciation. So it almost devalues the chocolate, right? Like you just buy them something just because like, oh, it's considered. I wonder if that's what omiyage is.
To their team for taking over the responsibilities while they were gone. In fact, workers in Japan only use up on average 58.3% of their paid vacation days, which helps to show their
Dude.
commitment to their team and company. Let's say you had a dinner plan with friends or even family, but a project your team is responsible for requires you to unexpectedly stay late for work. In this situation, Japanese know to prioritize work above their personal schedule. However, if the person had communicated weeks in advance, horenso, with their team that they had something important scheduled, such as a wedding rehearsal, their team would generally
What is it? Horenso ni shireshimasu or something? Like
be
crazy.
understanding of their absence. But let me try to break down the unwritten priorities for Japanese workers in order. The first priority is rare and important personal events such as your family's death, wedding, and medical issues. Second is work.
No way, bro. Say, hey guys, my parent just died, so I gotta go. Like, what?
And last, your regular personal events.
Crazy.
Again, this is all common sense for Japanese, whether they're
Of
working
course.
at a restaurant or a corporate office, and why it would be unpleasant for them to work with someone who is not following the same rules as a team. Hey,
Yeah.
so before we continue on, I want to give a quick
Of course, like if you're going to the idea in the Western mindset is like, especially here in Europe, right? I live in Spain as an American, so in Spain, bro, like you could just say, hey, I'm just gonna go. Like we close at 2 from like 2 to 4, just to go on a siesta so people could sleep and eat lunch. Like that is unbelievable to me that you have to prioritize a family death and then work what you're already prioritizing it, and then it's like I want to go paint my Warhammer figurines, or I had a dinner with my girlfriend. Like what? Oh my god, I would be livid. But that's why I appreciate that there are companies that are changing this mold and they're more westernized. I just feel like the Western way of working is maybe less efficient, but it's more conducive to the individual, which I appreciate. But I wonder if that will have a detriment to Japanese culture. I'm curious.
.com/Paolo from Tokyo and get 10% off your first domain or website. Number 5, don't ignore emails or messages. Communication.
I will get back to you in 2 days. It's been 2 days. I just saw your message. I was smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, and I saw your message, and I said, I'll respond. Okay. Like, what?
Communication. This is another basic and unwritten Japanese business manner that they all know. You must respond to emails from your clients and managers promptly. It's a show of respect as well as confirmation that you read their email. For example, when you receive an email from a client or manager asking you to do something like check a document, it's expected that you'll quickly reply to them, usually in the same day and no later than 24 hours. With a confirmation email such as I was able to open the file or I'll check it and get back to you as soon as possible. This also applies to text messages. Although there are auto read receipts, a Japanese person knows to confirm each message with a reply text. Otherwise, leaving it without a reply would be a sign of disrespect. Number 6, don't
like I saw your message, but I had no time to respond to you. And especially if you're prioritizing work like they do. If you prioritize work and the efficiency, then I expect an email within 24 hours of sending it. What are you doing? You're at the office. Why are you not sending this to me? So that makes sense. Like if you send an email, maybe in Europe, you expect it back in a day, or you just expect it. Even text messages, like it was very new to me to come to Europe and people take about like a day to respond. What?
Chat on your phone or go on social media while at work. It's
That's
simple.
obvious.
Japanese also have the common understanding without having to be told not to use work hours to attend to personal matters. Again, it goes back to being fair to your coworkers. If no one on the team is doing it and you're doing it, it disrupts the team.
When are you getting off? I'm going to leave right at 6. Okay, nice. Yeah, I have so much work. Oh no, dude. And yeah, right. I'm gonna leave right at 6. Be like, I'm gonna leave at 6, but my boss needs me to stay till like 2 hours. So.
Morale. Japanese would deem this selfish and entitled behavior, and it
Which
would
it is.
definitely annoy them. In fact, many Japanese don't even carry their personal phone during work hours, as they know they're not supposed to be looking at it anyway. Well, what about emergency calls, a foreigner may say? Simple answer, in Japan, emergency calls should go through the workplace. Number 7, don't leave a mess. This is just basic manners in Japan, not only the workplace, but
And it should be basic manners everywhere. Just saying. It should be basic manners everywhere. It's not. It's not. I wish I could show you outside my house, but people would dox me. But it's a mess out here, bro. It is a mess. I appreciate that the people that work here are actually doing their job, but it's just a mess, though. Either way.
in everyday life. It's to avoid inconveniencing others, as Japanese children are taught not to give trouble to others, known as meiwaku o kakenai, which leaving a mess
Meiwaku wo kakenai.
does, as it results in your coworkers having to clean up after you. For example, something as simple as splashing water all over the bathroom sink or leaving brush hair in the bathroom. Yes, there may be cleaning staff who come the next morning, but that means coworkers will have to deal with that mess throughout the day.
Exactly.
So someone from the team will usually clean it up, even though it wasn't them who made the mess. In fact, in some more traditional Japanese companies, employees clean their own office before they start, and even when they finish. No doubt, leaving a mess is a quick and easy way to make enemies in the Japanese workplace.
Of course, dude. Of course, like they clean their schools before they start, or they clean their schools afterwards. Like they clean their school after school is over. They don't wear shoes in the house. You make sure that things are clean, because if you leave a mess, why are you leaving a mess? Like, just clean it up. It's not that hard. Like, it's not even Japanese. That's just human etiquette. Like, if you leave a mess in the bathroom, clean up. If you pee on the toilet seat, clean up after yourself. Like, it's very simple, but they're taught that. And the people in the West, I feel like, are not taught that. So they have to come up with it on their own. And some people just either don't have time or they could just care less.
Number 8, don't be late for meetings.
Seriously?
In fact, don't be late for anything, whether it be for work or deadlines, even if for only 1 minute. It's just common sense in Japan to respect other people's time. It may not be a big thing in your home country, but it is in Japan. See, Japanese kids are taught in school to be 5 minutes early for everything. It's called Gofun Mae Kodo. Basically, you're supposed to start
Gohun Mae Kodo. Okay.
exactly on time and not start preparing
Oh,
at
5
the
minutes.
start time.
Go.
It's the difference
Alright.
between arriving to work on time and being ready to work at the start time. Also, Japanese know that when meeting a client or going for a job interview, it's typical Japanese business manner to arrive early and wait at the front and notify them just a minute before the time that they
Crazy, bro. And then you're waiting there and you're like, "Ohayou gozaimasu." You're waiting there in the car.
Arrive. Not earlier, not later.
Yeah.
Simply put, being late is disrespectful, and
Of
in
course.
some cases may lead to losing your client or even your job.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting bit too many mosquitoes here. Gotta move to the next spot.
Seriously.
Okay, look, I got all of these mosquito
Oh,
bites
God.
right here.
When I go visit Japan,
Anyways,
I'm not gonna
number
like
9. Don't order a different drink. Let me explain, especially for those who have a special diet. In Japan,
Uh-oh.
it's basic and unwritten manner to not inconvenience others. So if you're in a situation, for example, where you're attending a client meeting with 3 other coworkers and you're offered a coffee and all your coworkers graciously accept, and even though you don't drink coffee, it's best not to order something different like decaf coffee or sparkling water. Simply say no thank you or accept it and put it aside. Ordering a separate
Oh.
drink would just inconvenience the person preparing the drinks, forcing them to make a different one.
But they're working. What, bro? My system cannot understand this. Like, if you're at a group meeting, everyone orders coffee. Oh, I'll have a sparkling water, please. Okay, sure. What? So it's obviously like a subtext thing of like you don't want to look bad, so you don't want to order a tea while everyone else orders coffee because then your tea comes out earlier or later, and everybody just orders coffee. Make it easy for this person. Like, they're working. It's their job. That's crazy. That's such like social engineering, but it's just crazy for me. Like, for Japanese people, I'm sure it's completely normal just to be like, yeah, everybody else order coffee. No thanks, I'm fine. I won't drink, or I'll have a coffee. Like, absolutely insane.
It may also embarrass your coworkers to be with someone who's inconsiderate to their host. And the same thing goes for company lunches or dinners.
How is that
Japanese
inconsiderate?
are masters at reading the room. Unless
Yeah.
otherwise specified by the manager or boss,
Yeah.
coworkers are probably going to order similar dishes and within the same price range.
See, this is where you look ignorant if you're a Westerner. Everybody orders coffee, and you're like, mizo. Oh, is that how you say water? Mizo onegaishimasu. Like, water, please. And then they look at you. Gaijin. Like, fuck. And then meanwhile, you go, I'll have a tea, please. That's probably how you look to them. But really, you're just being like, I would like a tea. Thank you very much. So it doesn't matter how upstanding you are, it seems like. It doesn't matter how, like, maybe regal you might portray yourself in your country. If you don't follow their rules, then you maybe are seen as less intelligent.
They're definitely not ordering the most expensive item, and they're not going to
Ah,
order
like-
dessert if no one else is. And number 10,
Crazy.
don't
I
push
can understand that though. Like, if nobody else is ordering dessert, and then you're just like the crazy gaijin that's just like, I'll have an ice cream, and then you have to sit there and wait. That's kind of like a-hole behavior, but Westerners do that all the time, bro. Like, especially if you can imagine, like here in Spain, right? You can order whatever you want. If you're in a group and they order coffee, you can get a beer, and nobody could care less. I mean, it's whatever.
the boundaries.
Yeah.
Now this one brings us back full circle. If you're working in Japan, understand that it's not your home country, and trying to push your coworkers to adopt a Western work ethic and culture may be already pissing them off. The easiest
Yeah.
way around this is to simply look around the workplace, and if no one else is doing it, you should think twice before you do it yourself.
Read the
Even
room.
asking for permission to do something out of the ordinary already makes it seem like you think of yourself as above the group, and something as simple as
Crazy.
taking toilet breaks where there's no actual written rule on how long or how many you can take during the day. If you're taking more than the team, your coworkers are going to start to notice, and they're gonna start feeling like you're taking advantage of the system, which means you're taking advantage of them.
So you have I feel like this is where you have to communicate, right? Like, you have to communicate that I'm going to go here, but not because I'm like trying to slack off. It's like I have a stomach problem or whatever, right?
And guaranteed, they're not gonna like working with you. And an interesting side point, many Japanese will even change their diet so as not to offend their coworkers. For example, they won't even eat garlic the day before, knowing
course,
that their
yeah.
coworkers will be sitting next to them for the entire next day. It's this level of consideration and courtesy
I
to
respect
others
that.
that's been ingrained in Japanese people, which may be difficult for foreigners to understand. So there you have it. Let me know what you think of Japanese work culture.
Wow.
Would which points you agree with, which ones you don't, and if you yourself think you could work in Japan. Like always, if you like this video, help me out and hit that like button. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out the merch as well as my Paolo from Tokyo Hot Sauce. And if you guys want to see more videos like this or anything related to Japan, hit that subscribe button and the bell button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah, like that's crazy because when you have, let's say, that oh, well, nice. That was crazy. Okay, that was wild. Like when you have a society and a culture that is so far separated from yours, I just feel like the gap between your culture and their culture is just going to take a little bit longer. It's much bigger. But just because they are this way and you are this way doesn't mean that you can't find commonalities between those cultures. And so I feel like language is a big part of that, and understanding these cultures, like understanding the 5 minute rule, understanding that you don't take bathroom breaks. It's just like that's why salary men are so prevalent, and you see images of them like drunk or on the street sleeping or they hate their lives, is because they have to deal with these rules, and they might be outdated. I feel like they might be a little outdated, just because Japanese people are starting to understand like there are other ways of living. And so if I come home and I hate my life because I can't express myself, then I feel like these cultures are a little bit old. So that's interesting. Like old compared to what, you know? So awesome video. Cool. Thank you for listening to me talk about my interests in Japan, and I hope that you find a little bit of interest yourself. So, all right. じゃあまた。ありがとうございます。Peace. See you later.